Real Talk with Grace Redman features conversations with fierce and fabulous people from Grace's community and circle who inspire others with their stories of overcoming challenges to create amazing. Grace is an entrepreneur and success coach who works with individuals to diminish their negative mental chatter, boost their confidence, achieve their goals, and increase their prosperity mindset. Get ready for a series of anything goes conversations with remarkable men and women that will get you jazzed for life's unlimited possibilities of success, freedom, and fun. Welcome to Real Talk with Grace Redman.
Hey loves, it's Grace Redman. Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Talk, where I get to have a conversation with Vivian Jisrawi. Vivian is a wife, mother, baker, graphic designer, and project manager, also known as the Jack of all trades. She's a San Francisco native, currently living in South San Francisco with her husband and 2 children. Vivian has 15 years of corporate experience in graphic design and project management, and in 2020, she was laid off due to the pandemic. So she pivoted and started her own business, SoJo's Cookies and Bites. Vivian, welcome.
Thank you, Grace. So nice to have me. I'm excited for our chat.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So yes, 2020.
Yes, what a year.
What a year. And I've been so inspired by so many people like yourself who have, taken, like you said, pivoted and just taken lemons and turned it into lemonade. So tell me a little bit about, your 2020 and what motivated you to start the business during such a challenging year.
Yeah, I, as you mentioned, got laid off early in the year due to the pandemic and sat at home with the kids. My husband is in the healthcare industry, so it was a scary time for all of us being in the emergency room.
Oh yeah.
So, being a front line and coming home and, not wanting to pass things on to us and to family. And so it was a scary time, it was unknown and figuring it all out. And after, towards, when was it? October, I think it was. I was just taking a stroll around the park with my son, and I was like, what can I do? I'm applying to, I think, over 100 jobs. I've either gotten denied or not hearing back, or I'm overqualified. I was like, what else can I do with my life? What else is out there that I can potentially do? And as I was walking, came up with the idea of, I've made these lactation cookies and bites for several years now. I've used them for myself and friends, family members, people in the community, and they've all liked them and raved about them. So I said, why not give this a shot? Yes. I put up a website. I started marketing it to a local moms group and on Facebook and Instagram, and it's just kind of boomed. And here we are.
So tell us a little bit about your career, your previous career, what you were doing, because it seems like it ties in.
So my previous career as a graphic designer and project manager, and a huge portion of my career was in the retail space. So I did corporate retail, e-commerce. So I managed and did design work for Pottery Barn, Gumps, a lot of the big retailers in the city for several years, where I ran their corporate e-commerce teams, where we did graphic design and marketing and copywriting and photography and everything from A to Z. So it kind of tied in to then develop a e-commerce retail space of my own.
That's amazing. So tell me, again, last year wasn't easy. It's like we had so much uncertainty, and, getting laid off is never easy, especially during a pandemic where there is so much uncertainty. What do you think helped you stay? I'm sure you had your days, which we all did. What was something that helped you stay positive and grounded?
It was my kids. I have my 2 little ones are 3.5 and 1.5. They're young. Pulling them out of daycare in a day's notice, and then coming up with some sort of routine for them to keep something consistent and normal for them while chaos was happening outside, was probably the largest thing, and really trying to care and provide for them and keep them safe and educate them. And I'm not a teacher. I have no clue where to start with running my own preschool.
Girl, I give all of you mothers with young kids credit. I mean, my kids are older, so I God bless you all, which brings me to the next question. So it sounds like what helped keep you grounded during that craziness and the insanity was the kids. Like, okay, I need to be there for the kids. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you're, probably homeschooling them and then, figuring out how to start a business. How did you stay organized?
Spreadsheets, and I guess my whole work life ethic has been hardworking and staying organized and open communication. My husband has been amazing and an amazing advocate through all of this. So
that's so
any help he can help with the kids. If I needed to get something done for the business, he has been my number one. So I cannot have done this without him.
That's amazing. Which brings me to again, the support. One of the most important things to have in your life, period, regardless of what you're going through, is a support system. And there's no better support system than, a person's partner or spouse. So, what a blessing for that, for sure.
Yeah. So thankful.
The support system. So tell us, what are lactation cookies?
Lactation cookies. So to give you a little background, again, it's something that isn't usually talked about. Oh. I was a new mom back in 2017 and, breastfeeding and nursing my daughter and didn't have adequate supply to feed her. And I went to a breastfeeding support group where a mom handed me an oatmeal cookie. And I thought, what's an oatmeal cookie going to do for me? So I researched these and came up with a recipe that then helped my supply. And I kind of just ran with it. With my son then, I was like a dairy farm. My freezer was literally filled with milk.
That's amazing.
I would then hand these out to my friends, my family, anyone who I knew was having a baby. And everyone just raved about them. So a lot of the ingredients in these lactation cookies, oats, oatmeal, flax seeds, brewer's yeast, coconut, cinnamon, several of these ingredients promote lactation for moms or help to increase that. So these recipes are made with the basic ingredients that you'd find, off the shelf.
They sound delicious. Like I would eat one. I love oats and flaxseed. I put flaxseed in my, smoothie this morning.
Yeah, so it's basic ingredients that you don't normally think of, but that actually help when you're a nursing mom.
That's amazing. So, I've never heard of that. And just because I've had, I had kids and I had a challenge with my younger son, Rami, and then I had a lot of friends who struggled with that. And we, back then, we never heard of this. So is this something new or is it something we just weren't aware of?
I think it's something we just weren't aware of. After having my daughter, I also had gestational diabetes with her. And again, something that isn't really talked about. I would tell my mom and she would say, back then we didn't do all of these tests. We just had, got pregnant and had the baby. We wouldn't have all of these different tests and things that happen nowadays. And
they suffered in silence. We're more vocal.
So, God bless I keep vocalizing to my husband that, a lot of this stuff isn't spoken about. A lot of the things aren't educated or spoken about. And you are then a new mom and you're handed this child that's crying and screaming and trying to care for them. And you have no experience in this. It's not like I have 15 years of professional experience in having a child.
For real. I don't think anyone can prepare you really for having a child. It's like, you could read all the books and they can tell you what they could tell you, but until you're in it, like, wow.
Yeah. I actually just gave cookies to a nurse who's a labor and delivery nurse. So she helps deliver, babies. That's her job, her profession. And she's done it for years, but she just had her first child. And she said the outpatient instructions that I give my patients is no comparison to what it's actually like now actually being a mom.
Right.
So it's something that I thought, I've experienced. I'm sure others are going through this experience. And if it's something that I can give back and help someone with, then why not?
No, I love it because it sounds like it's something that has really, it's helped you. It's helped, this nurse who works in, the hospital, who works with these women, is like saying, wow, like we send them home without much information. And here you are. What this is called, I read a book a few years ago, it's called the blue ocean. So it's where you take, there's like a challenge, but there's really no solution to it. And then someone comes up with a solution. So how exciting that you're, going into that blue ocean and creating something, or resource for a need that we don't even talk about.
Yeah.
We don't even talk about it. So, going back to, 2020, the pandemic. So it sounded like you had been making these cookies before, and, for friends and for yourself. Was there like it sounds like you were in the park and there was a moment like, okay, why don't I do this? But do you think there were things happening before that light bulb came on in the park to motivate you to start the business?
Gosh, I have no clue. The park is literally my backyard. So, that was our outing through all of 2020. If we wanted to get out, we would just go for a walk and come back home. Mm-hmm. So, that was my breath of fresh air, I guess, in some sense.
So it sounds like once you, because a lot of times when we go out in nature, we get quiet and the messages come to us. So it sounds like when you're out and just enjoying nature, getting away from the chaos, that's when, the message of I'm going to do this came to you.
Yep.
What did that feel like? What did it feel like in your body?
Exciting and nervous, having an idea and then figuring out how to execute on it. And is this something how is it going to be taken? How are people going to react to it? Mm-hmm. Is it going to actually perform or, do well? Several questions come to mind.
So what was the first thing that you did? Once you had the idea, like, okay, I'm going to do this, what was the first step you took to bring the business to fruition?
I made a batch. So I baked. So I made a batch. I took some photos. I built a website. And then, as I mentioned, a part of a few local moms groups, and one of them has a business night post. And so the few weeks leading up to, I made sure I had my website ready, had everything going, and I posted. That was my first thing. I posted on the mom's business night post, and that just took off.
Really? So tell me, what does it mean to you when it took off? Like, what did that?
I started to get orders for it. I started to get people messaging me about them, wanting to know more or wanting to try them. I also, reached out to the hospital that I delivered at and this breastfeeding support group that I had initially got introduced to the oat milk cookie at, and have marketed now to new moms there for these as well. So networking with lactation consultants in the area, as well as any new mom that I can reach out to.
I think that's a really, having, my own business for 22 years and being an entrepreneur, that's really the number one, that's a key factor in relationships, building those relationships and getting out and networking. I know a lot of things now are done, via email and text message, but I feel like you, I'm still old school. Like I want to pick up the phone and call them and hear their voice. I want to go I know now we're still in COVID, so it's not, you can't get in front of too many people face to face, but just building those relationships and getting out there. There's something to be said about what they call social currency. Mm-hmm. It's like when they're, like one mom gets your cookies and she tells another and another, and then here you are getting all these orders. So it's amazing how right away it just popped off. Exactly. And you started getting the orders. That's amazing.
Like a local mom that I have a relationship with just had a baby last week, and she's known about my business and she's ordered them as gifts for moms that she's known. And I just delivered a whole batch of cookies to her yesterday. And throughout her whole hospital experience, she just raved about my cookies to the nurses there. And one of the lactation consultants has then reached out to me and wants to add me to their preferred like vendor list or preferred list for referencing SoJos to new moms. So it is word of mouth. It is about networking. And as you mentioned, you were talk to someone and they, didn't know I was doing this. It's all word of mouth. It's all word of mouth.
Absolutely. And it's about building the relationships and getting out there and, giving your best, because then it all just comes back around for sure. Correct. I know social media is big, like we have to get out there, but I believe just the referrals, by when you do it great for someone, they love the cookies, they're just going to keep coming back.
Correct.
So what has been the biggest challenge that you faced with the business, and how have you overcome it, or how are you working on overcoming it if you're still in the challenge?
Probably shipping. So I started locally. Obviously, I deliver locally throughout the San Francisco and the peninsula, or people come pick up from the house.
Great.
But I had a mom who I had met when I had Sophia, my first daughter, back in 2017, who had moved to New York and was pregnant with her second child and said, I want to try these things. So I said, how do I ship these things to New York and keep them fresh? So that was probably my biggest challenge. I bought a vacuum sealer. I packaged those things up, and she's now ordered multiple batches from me, and they go all over New York.
Girl, you're gonna be national soon, all over.
So it's been exciting. I've shipped to Southern California. I've shipped to a few other out of the area places. So it's been fun. It's it's been exciting.
Well, that's the word right there, fun. Exciting. And my 17-year-old or 18-year-old son came in now. He said, Mom, I don't know what I want to do. And I said, it's okay. So, but whatever you do, make sure you're having fun.
Yes.
Because when we're having fun and enjoying what we're doing, our career, flourishes, our business grows. So I love to hear that you're having fun.
Thank you. And that's something my entire career, I said, if, it's not a job, it's not something you just walk into and walk out of and you're miserable all day long. Like I've always said, whatever I do, I want to do something that I enjoy. Absolutely. So I love baking. I come from a family we always bake with my mom, and we still bake with my mom. And I'm always asking her, what new fun recipes do you have? Or can you teach me how to make X? So, it's fun. And so what I've done now is I've taken some of our family favorite recipes and created seasonal treats for anyone to enjoy.
Like, so give us which I hear you, like we love to cook and bake. We love food. I think that's just part of our culture.
Yeah.
But what's the cookie that you made? The kind of, what's it called? Like you said, you took family favorites. So give us an example.
So a few of the things I have out now for spring and Easter is a coconut macaroon cup that's filled with lemon curd. Oh. And here, let me think.
Oh my God, that sounds hella good.
Oh no. I'll have to deliver some to you.
Oh my goodness. I love coconut and lemon.
It's the perfect spring treat. Let me pull up a photo again. Oh gosh. Once you start taking photos of products, that's all my photo album is.
I bet. Yeah, I'd love to see it. Oh, wow. Oh, what's on top of it? Is that like jelly beans?
I put jelly beans on top for Easter. It looks like a little Easter basket.
Yeah, those look amazing.
Thank you.
I'll order some.
So I added a section to my website called SoJo's Family Favorites. And so with each season, I'll just bring out some new fun recipes that we've enjoyed as a family to share with other families.
I love it. So how'd you come up with the name SoJo's?
It's my children's name. So Sophia and Joseph. So and Joe.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. And it feels so warm too. Everything about you is so warm and inviting. So tell us something about yourself that most people don't know.
Oh gosh. Most people don't know. Gosh, I have to think on that one. I feel like people know. People usually
something fun about yourself.
I used to play softball and volleyball. So I was a big sports person growing up. And so I'd love to, I can't wait to just get back out there or see my children play sports one day. It's going to be really fun.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
It's super fun. So looking back, on your career and now on this new venture, what would you say has been the biggest lesson that you've learned and that you've carried, here with you today?
Take a chance. What a manager years ago told me, if you're going to fail fast. Try something, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you've learned from it and you move on, and you've now learned and grown from that experience or mistake. So I took a chance and I tried it.
Yes. It's funny that you just said that, because I just wrote my blog for this week, and it's exactly that there's no failure. It's only feedback. And our failures are really just, lessons in disguise, and we gain experience and wisdom. And like she said, fail fast and move on instead of dwelling on it.
Mm-hmm.
So can you, if you like, share a failure with us, and where something that you thought was a failure and then later realize, okay, that wasn't really a failure. This was the lesson.
In my personal career or with SoJo's?
Whatever you like.
Sure. Let's see, something that became a lesson. Just let me think real quick. You have me on the spot here.
Okay. Because it's just so inspiring, what you've created. It's crazy.
When in my career, I was a web designer at Gumps, and I got the opportunity for my first management role there. And there was another colleague on the team who also felt that he was up for the role. And I had ended up getting the role over him. And I then became his manager. It was, as I mentioned, my first management role. I was managing a team of 3 designers and had this person on my team that then didn't care for me as much as he wanted the role. And I had to figure out, how do I manage this team now that was then being fed negative energy and negativity towards me. And then figured out how to partner with this person versus be a manager of them, so that I can then successfully lead the team versus having to struggle with managing them.
So tell me a little bit, like what did you do to partner with him? What did that look like?
So so I would, instead of giving him a task to do and, give him a deadline, I would take some of the strategic things that I was working on, and I would try to get him involved in a way that then made him feel included versus giving him his normal day-to-day tasks. And, that was his role. So it's about strategy in managing people.
And I love that what you did, because you made him feel like he belongs, like he's part of the process. Instead of talking to him, you included him, which is huge. That's definitely a great leadership quality that you have, for sure.
Thanks.
With that being said, now you have your own business and you're a leader of this business. What is your vision for SoJo's?
I was actually just talking to my sister-in-law, and we were talking about some new product ideas and, where I want to take this. And, as I mentioned, I love making desserts and I love baking. And, aside from I think it might be split into two sides of the business. One, obviously helping the mothers and continuing with the lactation piece, but expanding more of the desserts and sweet treats that I enjoy doing as well. I got married, had baby, we had showers, and I loved the dessert tables.
Girl, me too.
And so I literally just texted her this, and I said, I would love to be the person who sets up those dessert tables.
Yes, I will definitely call you.
Sounds good.
So it sounds like you're, going to do the lactation side and the dessert side, and you're having fun, you're enjoying doing it. And that's the main thing. And that'll definitely continue to bring success to you. So now that we're in spring, you shared, the coconut lemon curd cookies. Do you have any other?
You're cutting out a bit, but I think you asked, you cut out a bit, but I think you asked if is there anything coming up in the future or from other seasonal pieces?
Yeah, for the spring. What are the seasonal cookies for springtime?
Yeah, so another thing that I currently am making, Rice Krispie treats that have spring M&Ms in there, and they're shaped like Easter eggs and flowers. And then I'm working on a few things for Mother's Day coming up as well. So some sweet treats for, to celebrate all the moms out there as well.
And I'm so happy that I had a chance to celebrate you today. I mean, I loved it when I heard your story. I thought it was amazing, especially during such a challenging time. I mean, 2020, was tough for all of us, and the uncertainty, and just how you were resilient and courageous and pivoted and started your own business. So you didn't fall victim to a layoff and to what was going on around us. So I commend you for that. I'm really proud of you. And I'm so happy that I had an opportunity to be here with you today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And likewise, it's been a pleasure catching up and talking to you, and the opportunity to be on your podcast as well, and sharing the experience and the cookies with new moms and families. And a lot of people don't know, as we mentioned, it's an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, so it's actually safe for anyone to eat. So I'm happy to, pass that along to, you can have them, your kids can have them. These are a safe, healthy, easy treat for anyone to enjoy as well.
I'm always down for chocolate chip oatmeal, girl.
Send me your address and I'll have some at your door.
So tell our audience where they can find you if they're interested to order your cookies.
Sure. I have a website up, sojoscookiesandbites.com. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under the same handle, SoJo's Cookies and Bites.
All right. And so with the shipping, are you able to ship like out of state now? Because our audience is all across the country. Is that something that you'll be able to do?
Yes, the cookies specifically, I can ship across the country. The refrigerated items, unfortunately, are for the local Bay Area.
For now.
For now, at least.
Yes.
For now to enjoy.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Vivian. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy to be here with you. And I definitely look forward to tasting your cookies and really, witnessing your journey as you grow this business.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me again.
You're so welcome. Thank you guys for being here with us today on Real Talk. I really appreciate you and look forward to connecting with you guys again soon. Make it a fabulous day. Take care. Hey, love. Thank you so much for listening today. I am so grateful for you. I'd like to show you my appreciation by gifting you a free forgiveness self-hypnosis audio download. Part of living the fun and fabulous life is practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness can be such a long and challenging process. My intention is that this forgiveness audio will help you in practicing forgiveness, especially with yourself. Grab it by visiting daretoachieve.com/forgiveness. For more inspiring tips, make sure to connect with me on social media. Drop me a line on Facebook or Instagram at Grace Redman Dare to Achieve. Until next time, keep moving forward towards living your fabulous life.